Hey there, my name is Lucas Aubert. I'm a solutions engineer at VertiGIS, and in this tech tip video, we'll be walking you through how to generate a report from a workflow. Let's get started. So there are several ways to generate PDF reports within VertiGIS Studio. One of the most common methods is to use workflow to gather user inputs to dictate the content of the report. So let's take a look at a simple example within the VertiGIS Studio sample app, which is located on the VertiGIS Studio demo portal. Now, within the Workflows tab, the search workflow first enables users to search across the buildings layer using three different methods. So we can search by address, by a given extent, or by buffering a given point on the map. Let's choose a buffer of 150 feet, and let's hit search. Now the workflow returns a list of the buildings within our search buffer, and we can then choose which buildings we want to be used in the report and select Generate Report. It'll take a few seconds to populate the report template with the building data and generate any maps, images, or charts included in the template. And now that the report is ready to download, we can click the link to check it out. And as we can see, the three buildings that we selected in the workflow have been included in the report. Now that we've walked through the workflow from the end user's perspective, let's take a look at the back end to see how the workflow inputs are being passed to the report template. The workflow starts out by setting up variables and gathering inputs. And I want to draw your attention to these two create value activities here. The selected features activity is where we are going to store the features we want to report on. And just below that is where we are going to store the object IDs of those features. So what we've done is we've initialized both of these create value activities as empty arrays. And later in the workflow, they'll be populated based on the user's selection in the form. Next, we display a form that enables the user to select their preferred search method. And from there, we query the buildings layer based on the user's preferred search type. After querying the layer, we then store those features in the selected features array we saw earlier. We then zoom in to the queried features and display another form to allow the end user to select which features they want to report on. And then we're brought to the final form where for each building checked in the form, the object ID is extracted and appended to the selected IDs array mentioned earlier. And after the selected IDs array has been compiled, we then pass it into the run report activity along with the report template URL. Once the report has been generated, we create a hyperlink within the form pointing to the report. And if you'd rather display the hyperlink within a notification to be more consistent with other VertiGIS Studio web components, you can actually use the UI.display notification command to do so. Now, oftentimes workflows are used to pass user inputs into the report. Let's say we want the user to add their name and maybe some notes to the report. What we're going to do is first add parameters for each of these in the report template. We'll make them both strings. And we'll add a couple of placeholders on the template for the name and notes, respectively. So let's preview the report here. Okay, nice. That looks great. Next, let's add text boxes within the select form so the user can type directly into the form. And let's make sure we're passing these values into our run report activity to generate the report. Here, we'll dot into the selected form and grab both the name and notes. Great. Now, when we run the workflow, we should be able to add our name and notes and generate the report. If you like to use the workflow we showed today, with the exception of the parameters we added, you can download the VertiGIS Studio sample package, which contains all the workflows, reports, and print templates used within the sample app. And again, there are several methods for generating reports within VertiGIS Studio, but if you're using Experience Builder, it's important to note that you are restricted to using the workflow method we showed today. That wraps up today's tech tip. Thanks for sticking with us. If you found this helpful or learned something new, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on what you learned below. And if you'd like to give VertiGIS Studio a try, go to apps.vertigisstudio.com for a free 60-day trial. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more VertiGIS tech tips. Bye for now.